Now, financial inclusion remains a critical pillar for sustainable economic growth, especially for women and young people running micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises. Now, the Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion, PRECIFI, has established or was established to accelerate access to finance, digital payments, credit, and other economic activities or opportunities for underserved Nigerians. On Business Express today, we examine how PRECIFI is working with key partners to deepen financial inclusion for women and youth in MSMEs. The flagship programs being rolled out and the targets set by government to lift millions into the formal financial system. Our guest is Dr. Nurudeen Abubakar, Zauro, Technical Advisor to the President on Economic and Financial Inclusion, Office of the Vice President. He is also the CEO of PRECIFI. Thank you, sir, for coming to the program.
Thank you, and good morning, Nigerians.
All right, let's begin by having an understanding of PRECIFI. For viewers who may not be familiar with it, what is PRECIFI and why was it created?
All right, thank you so much. PRECIFI stands for Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion. This is indeed an initiative of the federal government, as in this administration under His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. The PRECIFI, the Presidential Committee was actually inaugurated precisely on 10th of February 2025. That was last year, right? Okay, so the what do you call it? The initiative or the Presidential Committee is structured into 3 layers actually. We have the governance level, actually headed by the Vice President, that is the Governance Committee, headed by the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Then we have deputized by Minister of Finance. Then we also have membership across sectors. For example, we have the Central Bank Governor, we have the National Security Advisor, we also have Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, as well as the Deputy Chief of Staff, the President in the Office of the Vice President. Then we also have a governor from the south, which is Governor of Enugu State, Governor of Kaduna State also, and of course, altogether. Then I'm the secretary to the council. Then we also have the technical committee comprising the technical agencies, of course, ranging from National Information Technology, NIMC, NIPS, NCC, and National Social Investment Authority, and a couple of them actually. And then again, we also have the Implementation Secretariat, which is the acronym you have just read out, PRECIFI. So basically, the intention is actually to coordinate the activities of the economic and financial inclusion, of course, at the national level, and ensure that the reporting line actually terminates at the National Economic Council. Reason being that National Economic Council being the constitutionally provided, second highest committee actually, membered by all the governors across the entire country, as well as some key ministries, right? So with that, any initiative on financial inclusion, will be able to trickle down to the subnationals. We believe that at the national level, a lot of initiatives are actually being rolled out, of course, especially being the implementation structure that has been with the central bank. A lot of initiatives are actually coming up, but we feel that, this administration thought it wise actually to elevate the conversation also to the National Economic Council, in which, reporting can actually be given, and of course, all the subnational structure will be, taken into consideration. So that, the last mile, based on our slogan, no one is left behind, so that any initiative, that is being rolled out by the government of the day under the economic and financial inclusion space will have to touch the last mile. So that is why, governors, governors and local government chairs are also very critical in this journey. So I think that's basically the essence of that. So basically it's about coordination, taking a stock of some of these, and then coming up with key initiatives to collaborate with both public and private sector to promote collaboration, which is basically what ASO Accord is preaching, which was issued by this administration in April 2024. Thank you.
All right. So why are women and youth-owned MSMEs a major focus of the financial inclusion drive?
Well, anyway, so you see, women and youth are very critical in the financial inclusion discourse in Nigeria. Starting with the midterm what do you call, assessment that was conducted by the Central Bank of Nigeria somewhere in 2018, where that leading to the issuance of the revised National Financial Inclusion Strategy that is called NFIS 02. At that time, when the assessment was conducted, it was realized that there were 5 key gaps. Basically, starting with women, they have they are more excluded, than men. Then we also have youth. That is the age limit. Age range of 18 to 35. They have less access to formal financial service, as well as other factors. 3 other factors: MSMEs, regional issues, whereby Northwest and Northeast top the in the exclusion bracket, and of course rural urban. So that is why now, back to your question, women and youth are very critical, because to say that no one is left behind, you have to be sure that this group of vulnerable groups actually are are taken care of. It is in the light of that the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, specifically captured inclusivity as one of the key pillars, of course, out of the 8-point agenda. So inclusivity is important in order to ensure that all the disadvantaged groups, including youth, women, people with disabilities, and other groups, actually, another special interest group, are actually taken into consideration and also are captured in the schemes of event. So that is why they are very critical, and we at the Presidency Secretariat, in collaboration with our partners, we are collaborating to ensure that we come up with specific initiatives in order to support these vulnerable groups, particularly women and youth and other parameters. So that is it.
So
Thank
what
you.
are some of the flagship programs under Precify that are specifically targeted at women and youth in MSMEs, and how do these programs address common barriers such as access to credit, digital literacy, collateral, and financial trust?
Okay, in consideration of the prioritization of Mr. President to ensure that no one is left behind, Mr. President has come up with a lot of initiatives supporting Nigerian women. So in the light of that, Precify, in collaboration with, of course, other private sector and public sector actors, we came up with this initiative called She is Included movement. She, of course, for women, as usual. So she's included, just to be sure that we come up with a national flagship, national movement or initiative that would ensure that women are taken into consideration for a lot of initiatives, a lot of opportunities. They are not left behind, right? So She's Included actually initiative was launched precisely on 30th January 2025. That was last year, right? So, and the intention, it was actually launched there in the banquet hall of Zauro, headed by the Vice President, upon the approval of Mr. President. So what it does here is that just to ensure that we at a national level, at the federal level, we'll be able to put off a platform where all the initiatives, supporting Nigerian women across the country is actually taken as stock, is taken into consideration, so that at that level we cannot be able to expose, and be reporting such to the highest constituted authority, which is the National Economic Council, in which every subnational is there. So the intention here is to also promote support for women, both public and private sector. So far so good. We've done quite a lot of other initiatives that came up, and also in the light of that, both within the private sector, we have example development partners coming up with several initiatives as a result of the commitment of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration to support. So this initiative has been one of the key initiatives being implemented in the office of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So as part of the drive, recently, actually, we came into partnership, actually, under the She's Included initiative with the World Bank, whereby they have specific initiative which under Mission 300 to lighten, 300, homes, across Africa. So there is an initiative called WEN Africa, Women in Energy Network. So that is the intention of that is actually to promote women participation in the energy sector, right? So we signed the MOU as their strategic partner, I think the only strategic partner in Nigeria. The intention is to also mobilize other agencies, both public and private sector, to support the promotion of women activities in their different organizations and, of course, institutions. It has, I think, about 5 pillars, including supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises and financial inclusion of women, promoting them, and also encouraging them to go into STEM. You know, you and I know that in our universities days, mostly in any STEM-related courses like mathematics, like engineering, and all of that, you know, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, for example, you would realize that out of the 10, maybe you barely find maybe 2 or 3 women in the class, right? So in order to promote that, to ask people, for them, to ask women to actually go into, you know, this kind of sector to promote themselves, to ensure that they are well armed, because, you know, it's one thing to provide a slot for a woman to say, okay, this particular just like that 5% affirmative factor and all of that that is being advocated for, all like National Assembly that is working on a particular bill which is yet to be finalized, but I know it has reached an advanced stage. Instead of just providing a slot for women, why can't you arm women, you know, by way of providing scholarship, train them so that they can compete, right? They can compete well. I think that's actually one of the intention, to ensure that we educate them, we enhance their thinking, and also ensure their life and safety, and of course, advocate or campaign against gender-based violence and other vulnerabilities affecting Nigerian women. So basically, the She's Included movement is just a platform that has provided such an opportunity, and also a platform through which you can communicate, right? You can communicate to the government, whereby some decisions will be taken instantly where it is necessary. So basically, that is one. Then again, just last week, I'm sure you have all seen it, where we partner with, we got a support from Allison, which is one of the top trainers in the world, to train 10 million Nigerian women. In doing that, we went into partnership with the top 6 professional bodies of Nigeria in order to, you know, to promote training, of course, prioritizing women and youth in Nigeria. This activity took place, I think that was just last week, about less than 1 week ago. So the intention also is to promote financial literacy, economic agriculture, digital literacy as well, prioritizing on technology, because now, you know, if you train youth, you know, as well as women and of course other Nigerians, you would realize that you are also empowering them. That will lead to employment, because like now they have a training faculty where all the people that pass through their training process, they have option to obtain certificate or otherwise. You know, this training is going to be free of charge to all Nigerians, right? And it's going to be used, I mean, this is a certification that is recognized worldwide, not only in Nigeria. So that also gives you an opportunity to even secure a job while you are here in Nigeria, you know, especially on this technology that has provided such an opportunity. You can be working from your home house, you know, to be working for a company in America. So what we are trying to say is to empower women and youth of Nigeria for them to be able to compete globally, and that's exactly what that training, seek to achieve.
So how can women and young entrepreneurs who are still outside the formal financial system but want to benefit, Precifice initiatives benefit? What are you doing to help these ones benefit from the initiative? Very briefly.
Okay, thank you. So like the last one I've mentioned, that has to do with the training of women, you know, across, with women and youth, 10 million Nigerians. You know, we are working, the implementation committee has been set up, you know, we're working with those professional bodies to design the onboarding process. So it's going to be made known to Nigerians. Remember, I've said it's going to be free of charge, so that, you know, no Nigerians will be, you know, will be duped. So because some people can just go and start rolling out forms and be selling to people, please note that it's going to be free of charge. So we are going to make it available to everybody, especially the women you are talking about, you know, so that you can get onboarded. The training is going to be, the onboarding process is going to be done digitally, so you just need to key in your basic information without making it so stressful, right? So that when you get trained, it's going to be some sort of hand-holding process that would happen. When you are trained, after your training process, you belong to this, a group of alumni or faculties and all of that you can call it. So with that, you know, we're also discussing, with some, recruiting agencies, and also, so that they can also dip their hands and get skillful people. So it's not going to be like a complex kind of training, but it's something that can arm basic Nigeria, especially those people in the villages, in the rural areas, can actually have basic skills that are required not only in Nigeria, but globally. To that, women and youth of Nigeria will definitely benefit from this initiative under Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his renewal of agenda to support Nigerians.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nurudeen Abubakar Zauro, for shedding light on the federal government's Precifice program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and good morning once again.
All right, we move now to talk commodities, where gold fell in early